Every year on March 31st, people across Canada celebrate Transgender Day of Visibility, a day created to honor trans and non-binary people for who they are, not just what they've survived. It's a day about being seen, being valued, and being part of a community that stretches across the country. Transgender Day of Visibility started in 2009, when activist Rachel Crandall Crocker noticed that the only widely recognized trans observance focused on mourning. She imagined something different, something joyful, proud, and alive. Her ideas spread quickly, and soon communities around the world, including Canada, began marking March 31st as a day to uplift trans voices. In recent years in the United States, hundreds of anti-trans bills have been introduced. This has created an unprecedented attack on the trans community.
And tonight, one of the nation's toughest anti-trans bills is now law in Kentucky. One senator describing Senate Bill 150 as the will of the people. At the same time, a big group of protesters yelling from the gallery at Kentucky's Capitol. Some were arrested and taken right out of the House chamber as they refused to stop chanting. We are told they remain in jail right now.
These bills target basic rights such as the right to receive legal recognition and protection, healthcare, education, dress codes, drag and theatrical performances, the ability to play sports, and even the right to publicly exist. At the federal level, recent policy shifts in the United States have sought to limit recognition of gender diversity, including restricting how gender markers are recognized on government documents.
There are only two genders, male and female.
This will have the chilling effect of making gender unchangeable on government-issued documents despite one's gender identity, in addition to a slew of additional detrimental consequences on the lives of trans and gender non-binary people.
We know from Scripture and from nature that men are men and women are women, and men cannot become women. It's sad that we have to say that. It's a matter of biology. It's how we're made.
These discriminatory actions will not only impact the trans, non-binary, and queer communities but will also impact broader society, creating false ideas about gender and gender identity that are not supported by science and evidence-based research.
Even though insurance and driver's license and everything says female, you really don't know what to expect.
Around the world, several countries use laws to criminalize or punish gender expression and the gender identity of trans and non-binary individuals. For instance, in the countries of Brunei, Indonesia, Lebanon, Malaysia, Myanmar, Oman, Saudi Arabia, Sri Lanka, the United Arab Emirates, Malawi, Nigeria, South Sudan, and Gambia, the gender expression of trans people is criminalized. Considering the human rights abuses currently underway through the implementation and enforcement of such draconian anti-trans laws in some countries, and in addition to the attempted passing of such discriminatory and transphobic laws in other countries, it is more important than ever for the people of the world to inform themselves about what's happening not only in their own countries but globally too. Educating oneself about the current transphobic landscape is a wonderful first step in learning ways to get involved to help advocate for the trans, non-binary, and queer communities. In Canada, Transgender Day of Visibility took root during a time of major change. Throughout the 2010s, trans and non-binary people pushed for visibility in schools, sports, healthcare, and public life. Their advocacy helped shape important milestones. In 2017, Canada added gender identity and gender expression to the Canadian Human Rights Act. In 2021, the national census asked about gender identity for the first time, making Canada one of the first countries to collect this data nationwide. And in the 2020s, more schools, youth groups, and community centers began hosting Transgender Day of Visibility events, art shows, flag raisings, storytelling circles, and workshops led by trans youth themselves. These changes didn't happen on their own. They happened because trans people, especially young people, kept showing up, speaking out, and supporting one another. Across Canada, Transgender Day of Visibility is now a day to celebrate trans and non-binary people's creativity, leadership, and brilliance. Share stories that challenge stereotypes and expand understanding. Make space for youth to express themselves without apology. Remind everyone that visibility is powerful, but safety, support, and community matter just as much. It's also a reminder that visibility looks different for everyone. Some people come out publicly. Some share their identity only with close friends. Some express themselves through art, fashion, or activism. Others simply exist quietly and authentically. All of these forms of visibility are valid. If you're a trans or non-binary young person in Canada, Transgender Day of Visibility is a day that honors you, your courage, your creativity, your questions, your growth. You're part of a long story of people who imagined a world where everyone gets to be themselves without fear. Take the time on March 31st to celebrate Trans Visibility Day by honoring the transgender, non-binary, and queer people in your life and your communities. Spread a message of love to these communities and offer support and advocacy to help ensure they can live openly and safely without fear of punishment or harassment and threats. And with dignity and joy for having the courage to live authentically and proudly.